So the Hori game controller is $180.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Absolutely. I'm glad to see nothing's changed.
Wow.
Also, I bring this up in my my review of Metroid Zero Mission, which actually I can put up here on the card up top on the video.
Oh, right in the corner.
Look at that.
Hey, look at that! Look at that!
So majestic.
Wait, if you were privy to
Editing has
SGB
come a long
behind the
way.
scenes, you would see that they both pointed as if we were on camera.
Exactly.
Although we would very much appreciate it if you clicked it before, like after this is done.
Yes,
So
after
I
this
like
is
the
done.
fact that this game brings back like the menuing from like Super Metroid. Fusion had it too, but you it was kind of out of the way. You didn't know it was there unless you like actually paused the game and hit like L and R on the screen. How does Samus's arm cannon work if it's curved like it is on the thing? Like, are you looking at that? Like that.
Yeah, look at that.
That thing is just straight up curved.
She's like it's like wanted.
Every shot
curving the
curves,
power
yeah.
shot. If you're standing to the left of her, you're screwed.
Unfortunately, this means every missile just goes straight to the fucking ground.
No, it just blows up in her canister
Yeah.
because you can't curve a missile.
Well, as far as we're aware, I don't know. Also, most people don't have bird DNA injected into
Like
the
you switched it for the trajectory of the beam. You see Samus shake her head like she's a pitcher in baseball.
Okay, now that we got Power Grip, we can just start
Thank
whole ass.
fuck.
Why is my mom calling me in the middle of the Metroid Zero Mission playthrough? Because now I'm just kind of looking. Oh god, it's like
That's your mother brain.
every. I'm not even playing Other M, dude.
That's good stuff.
No, it's like normally it's
No, that
like
game's bad.
when my mom calls me, it's like who died. But it's like oh god, I have to go get in contact with her. Oh, you know what? I think I know exactly why she's calling me. Because I also just kind of did not answer her question about where do I want to go to eat for my birthday.
Oh yeah, I thought she saw Barbie. And was
Oh,
gonna
I
tell
know.
us
I did
about
tell
it.
her to go see Barbie
Yeah.
as soon as we got out
I
of the theater.
still want to see it. I just don't. It's
yeah.
the only problem is that I'm nowhere near a movie theater,
Yeah,
and I
you
have
are.
no wheels of my
Here
own.
you are.
I have
Well,
no wheels of my own.
let's
either,
not
so-
dox
We're not going to
ourselves, by
dox
the way.
ourselves,
Yeah.
but we'll just say yes, you are.
Yeah.
We'll tell you off recording.
Yeah, there's a movie theater right near the Kentucky
I know.
border.
No,
Oh, right off of the border of Oregon?
Yeah,
like, yeah, I know
it's right
exactly
between
where
there.
you're
If you
talking about.
if
Yeah,
you
I'm
hit
near
Oregon, you
Springfield.
went too far.
Yeah.
Love the music.
Yeah, it's a very Prime-esque soundtrack.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, this was
Well,
like,
I mean-
this was like this and Prime were like the first games to like really bring in. I mean, Super did it.
Well,
to an
but this
extent,
is
too.
but the Prime version is a remix of the
Right.
Super Metroid version. So
right.
that's
Yeah.
really
Well, you're
what
thinking
I
of like
started.
Magmore Cavern.
Yeah, man. When
and
I'm thinking
stuff
about
like
Mac,
that.
that's specifically
But like,
what I'm thinking about.
but like the Gregorian chants that
Yeah.
accompanies a lot of Chozo ruins, I think started with Prime, and this game especially
Yeah.
emphasized it, which I really like. You know, I think it's a very distinct sound.
I don't think it's gonna bother you until you go and blow up his home. Oh.
well, if anybody's gonna do it, it's Samus.
If anyone's going to
And
destroy
then-
my old home, it's going to be me. Yeah, so, like, Zero Mission is not just a remake of the original game, but it's also, like, their opportunity, and I stress, I put big fucking air quotes on opportunity there, for them to, like, further elaborate on Samus's Zero Mission. That's how she labels it. Like, this is, I think it's technically her first real mission as a bounty hunter. But at the same
I
time,
would
it
say
also
it's a
doesn't really,
mission.
it doesn't really say anything new. Like, outside of establishing shit we already know. And I think originally they did that on purpose because there was a manga tie-in released for this game.
Yes.
And that has all the backstory. And it's a good read. I recommend it, too. Because especially it deals with Samus's post-traumatic stress disorder in a way that Other M wish it could.
Again, I'm still not like, while I've softened on the issue a bit since my earlier days, I'm still not really a fan of I need to read
Yes,
additional manga
I agree.
outside of the
Oh,
game.
yeah,
I
agree.
agree. I say all the time, supplementary material should enhance what's already there and not make up for what isn't. But it is what it is, and I still recommend it because I think it's a good read. However, all of that shit, not all of it, should have been in this game. And I think there should have been, there's prime, pardon the word, but prime opportunity for them to do that, to set up things that will be further elaborated in future. Because, I mean, spoiler warning, after this game, we're going to be either doing Prime 2 or we're going to be doing Other M. And, like, we got all the things to talk about for Other M later. We're not going to be doing it anytime soon. But
Prime 2 is looking
a
very
lot
good
of it,
right now.
a lot of it would have been mitigated if they introduced a lot of story beats in this game, which they had the opportunity to do so, and they did not. And I think it's just because they didn't want the fusion critiques again of too much story, too much dialogue.
Yeah.
Village politics.
Yeah.
It's well, no.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the problem or the issue with Metroid is one of the things that Metroid's always touted is minimal story.
Yes.
Is minimal story intrusion into the gameplay.
Use the environment to tell the story.
Yeah, the gameplay is core, and it is the primary thing that's happening in these games. So Metroid's always been praised on that. It's always been praised on there isn't a lot of story exposition. There's not a lot of cutscene. And when you look at some of the games that got complaints for that, some of it was about, when you look at something like Other M, it was more about how they handled certain characterizations. But a lot of people just don't like the intrusion of story.
I see what you're getting. When you said
Or what
intrusion
could
of
be
story.
considered, what could be considered the intrusion of story, which normally isn't that much of a problem. It's just for Metroid specifically, it was always known as the game that environmental storytelling. You go through and you.
It's not a game for data logs. Basically.
And even then, I'm even kind of torn on the idea of environmental storytelling because the story doesn't really change much in these games. You get down there, you have a purpose. By the time you get to the end of the game,
you blow up a planet.
Yeah, you defeat the boss. So
you
there
blow up a
isn't
planet
really,
and you become a space terrorist.
yeah. So, so
No,
there's
only
really,
that is a American-only mistranslation. Never happens in the actual storyline.
what
She blows up a planet.
The fact that she's in hot water with the Galactic Federation.
Oh yeah.
That was a poorly mistranslated thing from the Japanese script that unfortunately had some carryover from the English. Because I thought that too. I thought because you're in hot water because you blew up a space station that you weren't supposed to, and the GF is going to be on your ass for it, and then Dredd completely drops it, and I was like, huh. And then I learned that no, it turns out that everything with the Galactic Federation was always a rogue faction.
Yeah, that's why
Which feels like a cop out.
No, but no, it was always like that though. In the original Japanese script, it was always like that.
Yeah, that they were the Galactic Federation wasn't doing the bad thing. It was
No.
a group of people within the Federation that were doing the bad thing. But when everything happened, it turned into they hate her.
Yeah.
And it's like no, they're that whole thing got kind of twisted.
She's the employee who actually gets shit done.
Yeah,
why would
exactly.
you hate her?
So the ones that hate her are the
Yeah.
ones that are trying to be lazy, or in this case,
Real
corrupt.
talk, that's actually a lot more common in some companies than you think. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna air. I don't want to air too much dirty laundry
Right.
from mine, but it's sometimes all they care about are the numbers, and if you produce the numbers, even if your work quality is crap, who cares?
Yeah. But yeah, her being in hot water in the Galactic Federation was just kind of a thing that the American translation kind of ran with, and it wasn't really accurate to what the original Japanese script was. And I'm going to give that a pass because I know, for me, that's kind of weird for me to say that because I make a point in my other M video saying that, no, just because it's saying different in Japanese doesn't mean you can't apply it to an American, but the problem is that with the other M, I argue that because the English script is what Sakamoto wanted, specifically, so I judge it based off of that.
Yeah.
And that's why I give the exception to Zero Mission. But still, it does explain why it's just kind of nonchalantly dropped in Dread as a plot point because it never existed in the first place.
It shouldn't have ever been.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been a thing in the first place. But we are heading to Kraid. That's the name of the area, not the name of the dude. I mean, the dude's also named Kraid, but the area is also named Kraid. So it's you work that one out for me.
So he named it after himself?
Basically.
I take the Saints Row 1 approach when it comes to Ben King.
Yeah,
you don't name it after yourself. You don't name it after yourself, or it doesn't get named after yourself.
I'm visiting Matt, and it's what's the name of the apartment? Matt.
Hi, my name is John Johnson. I live in 24 Johnson Street.
Didn't he just say don't dox him?
Oh, that's
Johnson,
right down,
Wisconsin.
That's right down John Road.
I take the Saints Row mentality when it comes to that. If something gets named after you, you're either a professional or a badass, or in some cases both. Certainly not the case with Kraid. You're gonna blow him the fuck out, but
or you're dead and it's a memorial.
That too.
Nope.
Once again, this is one thing I've never. I mean, do you get an X-ray scope in this game?
No, you do not.
So you're supposed to know that's there just by random shooting or looking guess?
The radar on the bottom, on the top right.
Oh yeah. The map in this game, it has a little circle to show you that something
I think
is on that screen.
This was the first game to do that. I think.
Yeah.
Did Fusion do that?
Fusion did it.
Did Fusion have the big circle if there's an item that
Yeah.
you didn't get?
Yeah, I was pretty sure Fusion did it.
Okay. Well, either way, Zero Mission then continues it.
Yeah.
All right, because I was about to say, if there was no, I give Super Metroid a pass because the X-ray scope would have eventually told you about that kind of shit later, and it would have enriched your. It would have added some additional game time, especially if you're not familiar with pixel hunting on that caliber.
Yeah.
But if something like that exists and you're supposed to know that via the strategy guide or something, I'd mark the game down for that. That pisses me the fuck off.
That's the NES problem.
Yeah.
That's the NES problem. This game was notorious for that.
In Japan, though, like I think it's because of the tighter population density. You're actually because originally like those games were built off of what success they saw in the arcades, particularly like Tower Drago, where you would collaborate with your friends, and together you would work together in a society, so to speak, to talk to each other. You would share tips and shit like that.
Yeah.
Americans are 50-50 on that. Most of the time, it's like, yeah, I mind talking to Johnny for help on a game and vice versa, but there are also a lot of gamers where it's like, hey, can I ask you about this game? And then you get like a really creepy diatribe from them about horse porn, and you're like, fuck you, and I don't want to talk to them anymore.
I mean, you also have to look at the era.
Hey, I did it one time, okay?
Oh, here comes fart in a jar, Martin.
Fucking Martin, fart in a jar,
I
asshole.
don't care about your fucking farts in a jar, Martin. Stop talking about it.
By the way, that's actually a weapon in Saints Row 3.
Oh, farts in a jar?
Yeah, if you upgrade the flash grades all the way, they become fart in a jar.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's potent.
I mean, it is the same game that gives you a fucking a giant dildo bat, so.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto?
No, Saints Row 3.
Well, Grand Theft Auto did it too.
They ripped off of Saints Row 3. Had to have.
No, Grand Theft Auto 3.
GTA never had that.
Grand Theft Auto
GTA 3 had a...
GTA 3 is also from 2001.
Yeah,
But that had a dildo bat?
That had a... Well, not a
Wait,
dildo
no,
bat,
not a
but it
dildo
had a...
bat.
They
it
didn't
had
have a dildo bat.
It had a double-headed dildo you could swing around. I'm pretty sure it was
No,
three.
we're talking about straight up like giant dildo bat. Like
Oh, yeah, I mean, not like that, but it did have a giant double-headed dildo you could swing around.
Dead Rising 2 had a massager you can use.
God.
Oh, brother. Welcome to gaming. This is why they don't want you talking to your friends about video games.
This is why you probably don't talk to other people about video games.
You imagine kids at the schoolyard. Did you get the double-headed? Stop talking. Stop
But
talking.
come on, that is definitely a schoolyard conversation.
Stop talking.
It is absolutely.
That is
Yeah, that's like
absolutely a
schoolyard
schoolyard
water cooler
conversation.
conversation.
Keep it to yourself, little Timmy.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, it wasn't GTA 3.
It wasn't 3?
It was San Andreas.
San Andreas. There we go.
God, that is huge. Jesus.
Wait, what are we talking
What's
about
this
here? Are
asshole?
we still talking about the dildo?
Yeah,
this
the
is
dildo.
a new boss exclusive to Zero Mission. This is the Kraid one. I don't know the actual
Yeah,
name.
I have
So
no idea.
what?
Why
Kraid
did
has
I
tapeworms?
fucking
You
flip
missed.
forward?
Oh, it's his penis.
No, I fucking flipped forward when I didn't mean to.
This is Kraid's junk.
No, it's Kraid's tapeworms. You should really get that looked at.
Really nothing to this boss. Like once he turns red, he will submerge into the acid and then rise it up, and after that, it's just get out of the way.
Whoa.
Pump missiles at him, and it's pretty much done.
Shoot him in the testicles that are on his neck.
He does get faster though.
Nexticles.
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 Dan, do better luck next time.
Isn't that an NES emulator?
You know what's funny because like my immediate thought nowadays when it comes to Nesticle, when
That's a sentence.
when I was recording Final Fantasy 3 on Famicom, the English translated ROM of that game specifically mentions Nesticle. Specifically, it's like,
Does it really?
Yeah, don't play this on Nesticle. And I was like, well, why?
What do you, my
now
mother make
I
me?
didn't. Yeah, I didn't test out to see why, but I was always intrigued by that.
Oh,
like,
wow.
why is there a warning for that specifically?
I wasn't going to, but now I'm gonna.
You're not the boss of me.
What are you, my mother, Crystal?
If my mother's giving me that kind of advice, that is strange.
Yeah, but Zero Mission also brings in a couple of new mini bosses for each area. It's not just because the original game had Kraid, Ridley,
Man, that
Mother
was
Brain.
literal-
That was
Mother
it.
Brain.
That was literally
in
it. I mean, do we
in
count?
the
Do we
Metroids.
count fake Kraid?
No, not really, not really. Because it was easy. It was also very, very easy to avoid that.
Yeah, yeah.
I played the game
yeah.
a few times before I even knew that was a thing.
Yeah, you can easily ignore fake Kraid completely, and it's like, oh, thank God. It's like, I'm really not in the mood.
The irony
Not in
is,
the mood is in like he's a hard boss, or not in the mood is in he's
Not in the
wasting
mood.
your
It's like I
time.
really don't want to fight.
yeah. The irony is, you don't even have to kill Metroids in that game.
No, you don't.
Yeah, that game
I feel like we missed a point.
it doesn't lock the doors or anything,
Yeah.
so you don't have to kill the
You
Metroids.
just needed.
We
But
don't kill the
those
Metroid. We don't kill
those
Metroid.
doors though took like 10 missiles apiece because they were like some of the
Yeah.
only orange doors in the entire game.
Yeah.
But back then, orange doors was just meant 10 missiles instead of 5.
Yeah.
I also like the idea that we don't kill Metroids in a Metroid game. I feel like we're kind of missing the. I feel like we just sort of lost the plot.
What do I do with you? You're going to stop Mother Brain.
Yeah, like in in Super they made it so that the doors don't unlock unless you kill them, so you had to do it. But
like in the original, not a thing.
That's one thing
you can just run through.
think
I
it's
actually
just-
authentic. I will always praise that about Metroid 2, though. Of all games, it's like I'm a bounty hunter. I'm here to kill Metroid to collect a bounty for it. Okay, we got the game right. That's exactly.
Well,
what
it's
I'm here
funny
for.
because like the in the original Famicom release of the first Metroid game, first off, the Famicom release of Metroid had a save system like Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
We did not get in the West. We got a password system instead. But what's funny is that when you do finish the game in the Japanese version, you get money bags next to your save icon, depending on how many like items you get or some other thing like that. But still, the implication was that Samus got paid for her work.
did. Yeah.
Which you don't really see a lot anywhere else, because Nintendo, or at least the devs behind the Metroid games, kind of have a strange definition of bounty hunter for Samus. They don't really, she's not really a bounty hunter in the way we know it. Like when we hear bounty hunter, we think Boba Fett.
No,
like,
no, I
hear
think anybody who
dog.
does.
We hear
No.
fuck. Oh, damn it. Jesus Christ!
Elliot, that could kill a conversation.
All that
Elliot,
fucking reality TV, like from
Elliot, man,
back in the day.
That was like a
Ooh.
whiplash.
That killed my erection right now. Like
I don't even want to talk bounty hunters anymore.
yeah, but when I think bounty hunter, a galactic bounty hunter, I think Boba Fett. I think someone who travels the galaxy, takes hits, essentially,
takes jobs,
and gets paid for her work. So back in development of, I want to say, Prime 3, Retro Studios had the idea, because they were going to have Samus travel across the galaxy in different planets with her spaceship. It was like, why don't we have her take different jobs as a bounty hunter? And Nintendo vetoed the idea, saying no, because that's not who she is. I was like, but she's a bounty hunter.
she's
Yeah.
literally
Yeah,
a
I was
bounty
like,
hunter.
but she's a bounty hunter. I was like, no, not like that. Like she does jobs for the Galactic Federation.
Yeah,
I was
it-
like, oh,
We
Is
just
she-
went in a loop.
Yeah.
I think the idea was that she was basically a sort of half freelancer.
yeah,
Like Peter Parker. Peter Parker was a freelance photographer for the Bugle, but he didn't freelance for everybody. He was a freelancer in that he was unpaid intern, but he was that for the Bugle specifically. So that's sort of what they intended with her, is that she is
Where are you going back when I missed the
she's a
I
freelancer,
have
but
to- I have
she's
to
a
do this.
freelancer for them.
Yeah. Exclusive.
Yeah.
No, Peter Parker never really took up any other jobs, so can you really say he was a freelancer?
Well, the only other job he had is working in the labs when in those
I
certain
forget that about him.
continuities.
Ugh. Again, like I said, I've never been the biggest.
Watch your jet, bro.
Not
Watch your
to say
jet.
that I absolutely despise the guy, but I've never been like up to date with with Spider-Man and everything like that. So,
Screw that one thing.
yeah.
That was,
I don't remember the
this-
names of these. I think they're either
they were the Rippers.
They're Rippers. Okay,
They were
thank you.
Rippers.
I wanted to say Geemers, but I think that's like the little crawly dudes.
the Rippers.
no, I think they're the Geemers, and then the Zoomers were the little spiky ones that you first see.
I love the terminology that they give these things in modern times.
I think I have to go to the right. No, I have to go back left and break that floor in order to act. Yeah, because I have to go this way. Man, I really miss high jump, because high jump in this game, like Fusion, also gives you boost jump ball, and being able to jump in morph ball mode is just divine.
Yeah.
Well, I can't imagine it does wonders for Samus's back, but
Well, I also just can't fucking roll into a ball myself and call it a day, you know. I don't know how she does it, man.
Oh wait, the
very
Geemers-
very creative use of Self 69.
Yeah.
Yoga.
Yeah. Chozo yoga.
Geemers are the little spiky ones too. I thought they were Zoomers.
Well, aren't there like two varieties?
I think the Geemers were the purple ones.
Yeah. Well, because in Prime there was like the regular dudes, and then there was also the spiked ones. I think
Yeah.
there were the ones were Zoomers and one was Geemers, which sounds really close to Gamers, which is also
Yeah.
like kind of Zoomer culture.
going on,
that sort of thing.
Geemers?
What's going on, Geemers? It's your
Yeah.
boy Zoomer 101.
Yeah.
Just letting you know, I just got demonetized because really had to have a heated gamer moment on my stream.
Heated
Geemer moment.
Geemer moment.
And it's a Geemer running by on fire.
Yeah. Oh, like literal heat.
Sam has got the flamethrower.
This is an epic Zoomer moment.
God, this was such a pain on the NES.
Really
There was a really obnoxious sequence on the NES game where you had to. It was a single column of
I know exactly what you're talking about.
the
Yeah.
blocks that you shoot, and then they come back after a little bit. So you have to cycle your way up. Like you have to shoot a few of them and then wait for them and then sort of work your way up. It was so obnoxious.
Are you going backwards?
I have to go back. I want to just make sure that I'm not missing any of my. I'm trying to cross all my T's and dot all my I's, essentially.
All right, later, dudes. S you in your A's. Don't wear a C and J all over your B's.
Because I'm trying to remember exactly. No, I think I'm good to just go backwards at this point. Yeah, because what I have to do is I have to go back to the I think the next hallway after this, and I have to bomb the floor because that's our entranceway to Kraid.
Yeah.
You know, so the thing that another mentality that I have to get out of, because this is a 100% playthrough, is that I have to just wait until I get my fully powered suit, because at that point it's going to be much easier to get items.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be revisiting every area at least twice.
Yeah,
because
you're going to have to do cleanup.
that's just how the game is designed.
As is Metroid tradition.
Yeah. This thing is though, like games beforehand had a much better design mentality around that. Again, I still think the best about it is Super. Because Super, I can get everything along the way without having to
You
revisit
just
much.
got a orb with a V on it.
Yeah. So this game isn't. This game gives us a few unknown items, which are if you know your Metroid lore, you know exactly what item you're getting because they actually show you the item icon itself.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like you won't know exactly what it is until later when you get your fully powered suit. But it's cool. Like I like it because it's like, oh, I know exactly what that symbol is, but I can't get it just yet. But it's also at the same time, why is my suit incompatible? It's like it's all Chozo upgrade. Oh, I'm on fucking outdated firmware.
And the best feature added in this game, the Chozo statues restore your health
Absolutely.
and your missiles.
Yeah, every game afterwards needs to have this, and it pissed me off that Dread didn't have it.
Listen,
Yeah, Dread could be a mistake. Dread will put a foot up your ass.
grindy NES games was fine because that was what we had. Nowadays, I got more games to play.
Yeah.
Just
I got
give me
shit
all my
to-
stuff back.
I got shit to do.
Yeah.
Will always be a tried and true statement. In
Yeah,
anti-crime
Especially
culture.
as you get older.
Yeah. But we're gonna call it a wrap there, folks. We'll see you guys next time with more Metroid Zero Mission. Have a good night, everybody.